Hey guys, and welcome. How are you guys doing? And how are your experiences around the world now? It's definitely an interesting time to be on the planet. It's it's intense and it's shifting so quickly. So it's very easy to be distracted, also by the energies because it's such a wide range of energies. So also if you're very open, intuitive, used to reading energies, it can be a bit different now because it's shifting so quickly and there's so many different energies at play at the same time. So it's really important to not be distracted by that either. Has been made very clear to me over the last days. I wanted to share some messages that have been coming in over the last period. And I do have some notes because there's so much coming in now, so I could go on forever and ever if I just go on talking. So I do have some notes on some specific points to cover today. So I will talk a little bit about the children, I will talk a bit about the earth, and I will talk a bit about the body. When it comes to the children, I will probably make at some point a separate video on the children because I've been receiving messages on the children for quite a long time, and there's been a lot over the last week now about the children coming sort of online, more children, which was explained to me being in the same way as the adults are working in a sense, but the children hold they hold so much more remembrance, more light in their bodies. So it's different than for us, but the process energetically is sort of the same, in the sense that what I show me is that when the frequency is rising on the earth and in the collective, so it's rising even though it doesn't necessarily look like it because the shadow is all over the place, shaking up in order to come out, just like in our own personal processes when we're going through deep contractions, sitting with our shadows, getting it up and out. It looks much worse than it actually kind of is, because that's what we're seeing and feeling and experiencing, but it's only to make room for more light, and there's more and more light, which makes the shadow come up. So the frequency is rising on the earth, as most people are aware of. And when it comes to a certain point, it's like the lights are going on in the bodies and in the systems. Over the last week, I've been getting this message every single day about children, that now more children, a lot of children are coming online. They're remembering, they're starting to connect on an energetic level and come together. Some of them aware of it and some of them not. They will start remember this and be consciously aware of this more and more because the frequency allows for it. Here in the physical as well. It's the children that are bringing the change. What is very important, which is what I guess the only thing I will say in this video, is that the children needs freedom and they need guidance. So instead of control and telling them that this is not true or this is wrong or whatever, be open and listen to them. If they have experiences, if they have different perspectives on things, because they're bringing in completely new things which is different than what we were brought up with, all of our programs. And so much of our perspectives are connected to a program, which is what we are clearing, which is what we constantly are becoming more and more aware of, and we are, you know, getting rid of these beliefs and these false identity attachments. And it's so easy to put our programming onto a child. Now they need guidance because they need the guidance of being a human, and they need to be safe, and that's our responsibility as adults. But they also need freedom to bring in what they are bringing in. And so I have had a few of these children connecting me telepathically, and what they're telling me is that they need someone who listens. They need just that openness so they can actually explain and tell their experience, their perspective when they need to. So it's coming from being aware and receptive to what they bring, not in an idea that I want my child to be like this, or to bring in this specific thing, or to put it on them. So just let them, like, they know, they got this, they know, and they will turn on in the exact right divine timing for them. And we don't know almost anything of what they're bringing in the sense that it's so new. So put the expectations aside, but give them freedom and guidance, and listen to them. That's the most repeated thing that is coming in. So I wanted to mention that, as it's been so much on it over the last week now. Then the body. The energies now are, it feels like it's just like this swirling energy. So it's almost like these pockets of really like dense energy that is just like tornadoes coming around. And then there's this peace, calmness, and just feels like, oh, now I got this, like, it's like a deeper state, a completely different state of consciousness we're moving into. And in my experience, sometimes I really experience this, and then suddenly it's like there's like 3 tornadoes around, and then it's like it's so much going on and it's affecting the body. And what has been coming in is that you're navigating both light and dark. Now the dark is also light, it's just a lower frequency. So it's not the it's so important to stop thinking in that polarized way. So when I say light and dark, I'm talking about higher and lower frequency of, just to make that clear. And they said that the swirls of energy is adding to the body's quick ups and downs. Because the higher light, so the higher frequencies that are coming in, both up from the inner earth and in from the cosmos, are causing shifts and changes in the physical body. So this is the development, the evolution of the physical body, which is changing on a cellular level. At the same time, the denser energies that are swirling around and that holds these lower states, all the fear, the shame, all of this that is, and you know, the instability around, can also be sort of exhausting on the physical body. So they said that both can lead to feeling exhausted. And you don't need to know more than that, they said, because from that point, if you start digging more into that, you are trapped in the program. Then you're starting to figure out, you're starting to try to control something. And you will move through it more easily if you're just present, if you accept whatever is in the moment. Honor the body, give it what it needs, and keep your mind clear. Because it's when the mind gets drawn into your experiences, that's when you start spiraling into something, into a distraction. You're coming out of your present moment, you're moving out of your body. You are being caught up in whatever is going on and trying to gain the control over it. And this is very normal. It's nothing wrong in that sense about it, because we try to control something in order to stay safe. And there's a lot of intimidating things or possibly scary things, you know, that we have to face now around in the world. And so it's, I can explain this. What's most helpful then is to really stay present. Because if we try to go in and we try to control it in order to stay safe, we are actually less safe because we are distracted by it. We are being caught up in it, so we have a less clear mind. But if we can come back to our hearts and back into our bodies and continue to just open our hearts and move through the world in that way, we also have a more clear mind and can move and make changes more easily. And so if you're experiencing quick shifts in how the body is and how the body feels, know that there's nothing wrong. Of course, always, like if there's something serious going on with your body, you get checked out by a doctor. You always follow your resonance, and that's not what I'm saying. If you're having like shifts and some, you know, it can be you feel amazing an hour and then like 2 hours later you're just exhausted, and then, you know, a bit later it feels better, and then you have a day completely off, and like this can be because of both factors of the frequency. I hope that was clear. The earth is also coming more online in a sense, meaning that we can work with her more. I've been mentioning this a few months back as well, with the water, for example, that I were talking a lot about the elements. Fire as an element has been coming in quite a bit over the last week. And what they have shown me is that the elements will be seen and experienced more as also a way of moving these energies around the whole earth plane. Just like, you know, something can be moved around with the air. It's like that, but it's like all the layers. So it will be more in our experience in a way. Also, the connection to the earth will, in many people's experience, be deeper. Both because we are getting more sensitive, and we are able to feel the energies deeper and more. And we will start, they've been showing me, like, start recognizing more how we are actually in many ways mimicking the earth. Like, for example, our nervous system looking like, you know, the root systems of the trees. Our communication will start being experienced more as it is in the nature as well. There are so many ways that we will feel and see that we are much more a part of the nature than what our lives have been looking like for many, many years. And one thing they said is that, of course, as we know, these are times of changes. And they said that the changes will run the show in the time coming now. And the important thing is how you handle it. So observing it, flowing, being present inside again, and remembering that you are initiating the changes. It's not the other way around. So always remember that you are in your power. And many times what is happening, so they said that what's happening now is sort of like initiations to a higher state of consciousness. So when something is really challenging for you, or you're facing deep, deep fear, or you are not sure how to go about with something that you are facing, or your family, your friends, your community, whatever, they said, can you bring in the knowing that it's an initiation into a higher state of consciousness? In order to be initiated into something, if we look, for example, at the shamans, they have to really face their deepest fears. Because it's only when you have faced your fears that you can really, truly understand how powerful you are. That's when you know what you hold. And many people will be brought to their knees. And as I mentioned a bit in the video about identity and ego deaths, it's often when we are in a state where we feel like we are losing everything that we also, with some time, experience that we gained everything. Because we come back in. Because we understand the power we hold to change things. The power we hold to create. And facing our fears can be so, so challenging. And we have been doing it for a while, but there will be more for many people around the world. And having to face death, whether that's death of ego, death of attachments, whether it's a physical death or transition of people we know or love, whether like all these kinds of shifts that are really, really cracking our hearts wide open, that are making us having to face ourselves, to face our emotions, and to really, really go deep to overcome and move through our fears and understand that the fears we have don't have that power that we initially thought they had. That's when we really realize how powerful we are. And when we realize how powerful we are, we can create really, really quickly. Instant creation. But we have to move through it. And if you resist it, it will only be more challenging. So it's so important to let yourself experience whatever you're experiencing, coming back into your heart, finding your breath in the body, honoring your body, moving back in every time you feel distracted, every time you get caught up in something, and trust yourself There are so many narratives out there. There will be more narratives out there. There will be plenty of opportunities to distractions, but you have the power to make the choice over and over again of what you want, whether you want to get distracted out there or whether you want to come back in here and face whatever you are facing, and know that on a deeper level it is an initiation into a higher state of consciousness. And more people will experience this and start living as it, will start feeling that power. We will remember that we are not victims, we are actually really powerful creatures. And we can create beautiful magic. So start looking for the magic you already have in your life at the same time as you're going through whatever you're going through. It can be really small things, really beautiful small gifts every day. Find the gratitude and find the gifts and find the magic. And by being observant of it and by starting to acknowledge it or recognize it and really bring that in and have it sit with that gratitude, you're actually creating more space for it in your life. So let go, accept whatever is going on, and don't make it being anything wrong, and don't try to control it, because it won't work. We have to let go. We have to surrender. We have to allow, trust ourselves, and just become more and more of who we truly are. It's an initiation. And we're moving through it. I'm sending you all lots of love, lots of compassion. Connect with the earth, connect with your heart. Be true to you always. And see you in the next video. Bye bye.